Good afternoon, neighbors, friends, brothers and sisters. Welcome. This is Faisal Hassan. I usually join you Friday at 7 p.m. Tonight I'm joining a little bit early at 4 p.m. because I have to attend a quick conference that is happening this evening, and I don't want to miss you. That's why I'm joining you a bit early. A lot of things to talk about. Before I begin, quickly, I want to also welcome first folks from Instagram who are joining us. First, I wish to acknowledge at this time that we are on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Ojibwe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations Inuits and Métis. Those who are joining me, welcome on Instagram, as well as also Twitter, Faisal Hassan NDP, and my page, Faisal Hassan NDP, and LinkedIn, and also YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed my YouTube, please join. Welcome, Ivan. Welcome, Brandon. I'm joining you early today because I don't want to cancel our usual meetings. So that's why I'm coming a little bit early at 4 p.m. to 5. Next Friday, rather, I will join you at 7. Again, I also welcome my friends from the Labour Council. And great job yesterday at Labour Council. Thank you. And I appreciated the work the Labour is doing. Fantastic. And an NDP government will be a partner with Labour. Absolutely. Folks, also, this month is also Ramadan. The Muslims are fasting. And I want to also say Ramadan Mubarak. And I want to wish my friends and neighbors in the Muslim community a happy and peaceful Ramadan Mubarak. This is the holiest month of the Muslim calendar, and I am so thankful that this year we can celebrate by gathering regularly and in person to pray and break fast with loved ones. I look forward to gathering with you at the many Ramadan celebrations taking place over this coming days. Enjoy this time with your family and happy Ramadan Mubarak. And I also thank my friends and colleagues at the York Labour Region Labour Council. And last night I was honored to speak to the Toronto and York Region Labour Council delegates and the delegates meeting. And the Labour is a central body that combines the strength of the thousands of local unions representing 205,000 working men and women and their families. Its mandate is to organize and advocate on issues that are vital to working people throughout the region. I truly appreciate their contributions and the support for working families in the province and look forward to working with them, and together we can do better and working with them, repealing Bill 124, which caps nursing wages, and also I don't know if you guys have seen also our mental health platform as well, which I'm also looking forward to speaking to you all. And let me know, folks, if you have watched my leader Andrea Horvath last Sunday when she at the Evergreen Brickworks has released our plan for mental health to cover on OHIP. It's very important. We have been fighting many issues, and mental health, as we've said, also healthcare is also mental health is healthcare, and healthcare is from head to toe, and we need to put that coverage for folks. And if you haven't watched it, please watch it. It was an excellent speech, and I was honored to be there alive and also be part of that history by releasing that platform. And also we're going to build over 30,000 also a supportive housing to support folks with mental health issues. And Folks, those who are just joining, neighbors, friends, brothers and sisters, welcome. This is your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan. Usually I join you at 7, but I'm joining you a little bit early at 4 p.m. today because, because I have to go to a big event and I don't want to cancel our meeting, which I have promised to come to you to hear your concerns and also address them. And you can also reach my office at fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca. And you can also phone at the constituency at 416-243-7984. And to this also afternoon, I will be also taking some of your questions and comments and looking forward to also hearing any concerns you might have. Andrea Barrett, welcome. She is our candidate at Brampton South. Welcome. And she's doing a fantastic job. Folks, if you live in Brampton South, please support Andrea Barrett there. Thanks for joining me Instagram. Most of you are joining me Instagram, Faisal Hassan NDP, and also Twitter, Faisal Hassan NDP, and also my Facebook page, Faisal Hassan NDP, and also LinkedIn and YouTube. If you haven't subscribed my YouTube, please also signed up so that you get instant updates as well. Welcome. When I speak to the residents about the affordability issues in our community, I hear a lot of concerns. These days, the cost of everything from grocery to housing continue to increase, and it is putting the pinch on household budgets here in New York Southwestern. If you are a driver like me, you are well aware of the rising price of gas. But you also know that the auto insurance rates have been a problem in this community for some time. Insurance companies continue to gorge residents simply based on the postal code that they live, the address, and the location you live. It is unfair practice that sees individuals with clean driving records paying more simply based on where they live. Our community is feeling targeted by this unfair practice and has insisted that this change. I agree. That is why I'm thrilled to co-sponsor Bill 103 and end the practice of postal code discrimination once and for all. And I was also there at the legislature last night debating auto insurance, a bill that is sponsored my colleague Kevin Yard from Brampton North. And also, quickly here, Andrea Barrett says, MPP Faisal Hassan, hello. Well, hello to you, Andrea Barrett. Hope you're doing fine. And, she is the candidate, NDP candidate, Ontario NDP candidate for Brampton South, Andrea Barrett. Folks, if you are living there, folks, support her. Okay. And Ivan, welcome. Brandon, welcome. Zainab, welcome as well. Joining me on Facebook as well. And auto insurance, folks, it is on average, our community, we pay higher premiums compared to other communities. And this is also a huge problem for GTA. It's redlining. It's also unfair. And we need to dismantle it. And that's why we have sponsored Bill 103. And we hope that the government supports it. And this government has not been supporting bills that we have tabled, many bills that we have tabled. My colleague from Humber River Black Creek and also my colleague from Brampton East and also Brampton North have tabled many bills. And also I've tabled a motion before the House was brogued. And last night, Brampton North Kevin Yard has also sponsored that bill, and I was also the co-sponsor. And I'm happy to report, if you have missed it, please watch the debate there. All my colleagues have spoken about it, and I think the co-sponsors and others as well. So that was an important bill. And during the pandemic also, folks, you know that cars sat in driveways and accident rates were substantially down. Insurance companies brought in record profits and promised rate relief from the government never materialized. It has never materialized, and all it did is just go up again. In fact, auto insurance rates have only added to the affordability crisis we face in Ontario. For many families, driving is a necessity to get to work and to get kids to practice or to take an elderly family member to an appointment. These days, our car ownership is beginning to feel like a luxury that few can afford. Those fortunate enough to own a car shouldn't have to face unreasonable insurance rates because of their postal code. The Premier has said he was against postal code discrimination and urged insurance companies to do the right thing and lower rates. But we cannot rely on goodwill of insurance companies any longer. We need to end postal code discrimination here and now and give drivers the right relief and fairness that they deserve. Bill 103 looks to end the unfair practice of determining auto insurance rates based on where someone lives. Ending postal code discrimination with the passing of this bill will go a long way in leveling the auto insurance playing field and will provide fairness, a real insurance rate, the first time in decades. I was happy to return to the legislature yesterday for an emergency debate to encourage the government to pass this bill before the legislature rises. I hope the government does the right thing and supports a swift passage of this bill. But should they fall short, I know drivers in this community will be looking to hold the government accountable for their inaction in June 2nd. And it is very important that you know who is on your side. And the NDP caucus and the official opposition has been fighting for you, raising each and every day at the legislature since we have been elected about the affordability issues. Housing is another big issue, auto insurance, childcare. We have seen now the signing, but it took so many 9 months after this government to sign, and still we don't know the details of how it's going to come out of that. And we would like to make sure the families get the relief they deserve now, not many years later. And also our healthcare spending, folks. Once again, the Financial Accountability Office has released a report confirming a pattern of underinvestment in vital services like healthcare. Ontario is spending less on healthcare per person than any other jurisdiction in Canada. Per person health spending in Canada is lowest since 2018. In 2000, in Ontario, people wait for hours in the emergency room, weeks for an important appointment with a family doctor, and months for surgeries. This record of underinvestment is not one to be proud of. As we recover from the pandemic and work through the backlogs, we need to ensure our system is properly funded and resourced. And we need to focus public health care and put the resources that is needed and make sure that healthcare is there for us. And healthcare is from head to toe. And we need to also make sure as well that. And also, folks, quickly also on at the beginning of the month of Ramadan, about 7 days ago, the city of Hargeisa in former British Somaliland has hit hard by fire that has destroyed, a devastating fire, and that's also my heart's also go, and prayers with those folks, and they need our support. The support of the people of Ontario, and also the support of Canada to help those folks who have almost lost close to $2 billion dollars worth of an entire market, which was the only market saving almost 1.2 million people. And that's also something I'm looking forward to be speaking when I return at the legislature on Monday, to ask this government to also support humanitarian issues, people in natural causes and natural issues that are needed to also people of Ontario also to support them. So they are also my prayers and thoughts as we also are in the middle of in the month of Ramadan. So if you are able to help also, please help and also contribute whatever you can to support them. Thank you. Yesterday was also a big day for on Sunday, actually. On this week, our party was a big day, and our province. On Sunday, our party launched our campaign to form government and released a platform that is vital for the health of Ontario and our community of York Southwestern. It is called Universal Mental Health Care, and it would make counseling and therapy a service covered under our current healthcare system. It would ensure that Ontarians can get access to the mental health support they need simply by representing their OHIP card instead of their credit card. We would establish an emergency called Mental Health Ontario to ensure the system has all of the staff, resources, and coordination needed to care for people and relieve the strain of the hospitals and emergency services and the justice system. It is a comprehensive plan that I encourage you to read and to study, and this is what is needed. You know, the Liberals had 15 years to deliver, to protect our education and our healthcare. And this government had 4 years, and we have seen it. Their bills like Bill 124 and also the cuts to education and also healthcare and their privatization agenda. And that's also something we need to stand together. And together we can do better, and together we can form a government that puts people first in this province. And we would, I would encourage you to read. It's a comprehensive plan that I encourage you to read, folks. And quickly, those who are joining us on Instagram, Faisal Hassan NDP, welcome. And also my Facebook page, Faisal Hassan NDP, and also Twitter, Faisal Hassan NDP, and LinkedIn and YouTube, welcome. I join you every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. But this afternoon, I'm joining you a little bit early because I don't want to miss to meet you, because I want to make sure that I also update you the important issues in the province and the work we have done of this week. And you can also always call our constituency office, Faisal F. Hassan-CO at ndp.on.ca, or you can phone us here at 416-243-7984. Thank you, folks, those who are joining. You're joining your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan, neighbors, friends, and brothers and sisters, welcome. And I'm the only candidate in this community who lives here running for re-election in this upcoming election. I have lived this community over 20 years, and we need a strong local voice to deliver results for this community. No more being an afterthought, and no more people being brought from other communities like Parkdale High Park or Etobicoke North. We need a strong voice, and that strong voice is me, to make sure that we continue the work I have started June 7, 2018, to make sure that this community, these issues that have been neglected for the last 15 years, is delivered, and delivered as we come June 2nd. The past 2 years have put a spotlight on mental illness. It has been silent pandemic for many years, but the pandemic has put it into a greater focus. Millions of people are dealing with anxiety and stress. Children are struggling with social disorders and sitting on wait lists. Many people are suffering from grief after loss of a loved one. Mental health must be treated as a priority. As awareness of mental health has grown, investments in treatment and care have not kept pace with growing realization that mental health is at the core of our well-being. 1 in 4 of Ontarians have sought help for mental health or addiction during the pandemic. And those that haven't are sure to know a friend or a loved one that needs support. I am so thankful for those that have spoken up and worked so hard to remove the stigma associated with mental health. Previous governments have continually come up short on this issue. The Ford government has cut $2 billion from mental health since their election in 2018, and the Liberal government before them chose to freeze spending, as they did with other aspects of the healthcare system. This June will present a unique opportunity to establish mental health as a key component of our healthcare system. The lasting impact of universal mental health care will be felt for generations to come and will ensure that people get the service they deserve, regardless of their financial situation. I want to thank countless members of our community who have shared their stories of personal struggle with me, as well as the families of individuals dealing with mental illness. You have shaped this plan and inspire me as we work to deliver on this important commitment and earn your trust in the coming election. So thank you, folks, and those who are joining now. You're a member, Provincial Parliament, Faisal Hassan, and I join you every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. But tonight I have joined you earlier at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Because I need to go to a specific conference that I have been invited, and I cannot simply miss you. And I wanted to come early so that you can also watch it later if you show up at 7. So here you are, just to update you the work we have done this Friday. And also my office is also here to help you, to support you, and to make sure that your issues are addressed. We have fortunate to have a strong team here, a team that are working at the constituency day in and day out to support the community. And our email is fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca, and you can also phone us at 416-243-7984. Quickly, I'll take some of your comments and questions quickly. And I see here Jonathan Smith. Welcome, Jonathan, for joining. And Jonathan says, I have voted for NDP all my life. Why I have abandoned me? Why have you abandoned the values of the NDP? He says, why have you abandoned my body, my choice? Why have you abandoned medical freedom? Please try to let go of fear, embrace love and compassion. Instead, it is not too late to change course. And do not want and do what is right. Do you know the facts does not prevent infection? Do you know the facts does not prevent transmission? Do you know the facts does not prevent long COVID? How can you justify forcing it on people who do not want it? Well, in 2022, he says Pfizer and Moderna need to make sure governments purchase and take deliver of 3 million vaccines doses, totaling a revenue of 50 billion. Otherwise, they will have to break their promise to Wall Street. Do you want capitalism, profits, and stock markets dictating your medical choices? This is not a progressive approach to healthcare. Follow leftists, take note. Well, thanks, Jonathan. That's Jonathan's comment. Well, thank you for your comment. And I'll be happy to meet with you and listen more of your concerns. You can email me, fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca, and you can phone me to book an appointment to see me. I'll be happy to sit and hear more of your concerns so that we can talk to more about this. Okay, and the phone number here is 416-243-7984. Thank you. Welcome, folks, those who are joining me on Instagram. My friend Arak Shafal says, why are you live early today? Very good question. And hope all is well. That's right, all is well, my friend Rakshandel. I am just joining early because I have been invited to participate in a conference this evening, and I don't want to cancel our gatherings as we have accustomed to meet from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. to share with you the updates of the week, and also take also some of your concerns, and also some of your comments rather, and also questions. So just instead of joining you 7, because I won't be able to do that, so I wanted to join you early so that you can watch when you come 7, and many of you will be coming 7, so you can also see that. Okay, so that was, I hope that that answered your question, hopefully. And yes, I'm glad you joined 5 quickly. Perhaps you have gotten notifications quickly, and quickly also I'll check also if there's any other questions that folks might have on other platforms as well, and see also if there is, and I don't see any there, and quickly also. This is your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan, joining you. I join you every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And also tonight, I'm joining a little bit early because we want to not miss you. But so when you come there, then you'll be able to watch the video because I will be leaving to participate this conference, which I've been invited, and I cannot cancel it, but I can accommodate quickly here. Jerry Grossi, welcome for joining me, and I'm also a little bit early because of that reason. And folks, welcome, Ton, welcome, and folks, hope you're doing well, and I will be happy to take your questions and comments. And this week also at the legislature was also, we have debated on auto insurance. And auto insurance, this bill was sponsored my colleague from Brampton North, Kevin Yard. And we know that on average, our own community here, people are paying average $3,000 for auto insurance, and that's not right. And we quickly, maybe Rakshandel is asking, do you know Jindion? Could you say more about it? So maybe give me some background who that is, so I'll be able to maybe understand who that is. Well, yeah. So we were debating and an auto insurance, and our community have been targeted simply because of our postal code. So we need to ban auto insurance discrimination based on postal code. It should not be based on postal code. It should only be based on the car you drive and your driving record. Anything else, it has nothing to do with auto insurance. And that's why we want this government to be fair. And it hasn't been fair. This government, headed by Ford conservatives, and also the previous government also has not done the same thing as well. We need them to make sure that we need fairness, especially places in our community, in Scarborough, in North York, and also in Brampton. We are paying higher auto insurance premiums, and that's not right, folks. And he says, Raga Vashal says he is an NDP supporter and a Black Lives Matter activist. Oh, okay. So thanks for sharing his information. Is any issues? That's good. And Mandy Singh, welcome, and joining me as well. And folks who are joining also this afternoon, thank you. And also welcome, you're joining your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan. I joined a little bit early today to also update you about this community. Folks need strong local voice. I am the only person who is running this coming election. I'm running for re-election that only lives in this community over 20 years. And this community needs a strong local voice, not people who are coming from Parkdale Park or coming from Etobicoke North. This is not, they will not give attention and care we need, and we have been an afterthought for last 15 years. No longer we need that. It took 7 months, this government, just to get a testing center in our community. Think about that, where other communities were getting quickly and so on and so on. And that's not right. We need a strong voice, and I want to continue that strong voice for you. As we've started June 7, 2018. Quickly, I'll take some comments and questions from Instagram folks who are joining me. Faisal Hassan, NDP. Mandy Singh says, if I am an international student, how can I work with you as an intern? Very simple. You can just send us your information, and we'll be happy to support you in that regard. My office, we also have established MPP Faisal Hassan Youth Council, and our youth council are fantastic. They have been instituted into 2021, and also we have also another class of 2022. This is also another way people can get involved, and also interns or volunteer. We are able to accept them, and you can actually get back. You can write to us, and we'll be happy to respond to you. You can write it fhassan-co@ndb.on.ca, or you can just again fhassan-co@ndb.on.ca. Folks who are joining, you are a member of Provincial Parliament, Faisal Hassan. I join you every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tonight is exception. It's the only Friday I'm joining you from 4 to 5 because, as I said to you in many occasions, I was saying I won't be joining you, and I felt that's not right. I said maybe you should join a little bit early at 4, and my team has agreed to do that. And here I am listening and also taking some of your questions and your comments. And folks, don't wait Fridays to send your concerns. You can write to us every day, fhassan-co@ndb.on, or you can write to me. You can also phone us for 416-243-7984. And also Jonathan Smith joining us from Facebook, my Facebook page, Faisal Hassan NDP, also comments, says, regarding auto insurance, you are 100% correct. In that, it should not be based on postal code, only the driver's record and the vehicle. Exactly, Jonathan. That's why the NDP is the only party, Jonathan, that is fighting for working people, fighting for folks who live in this community. You can see the record of the last 15 years and the last 4 years. We had from bad to worse. We need better, and together we can do better. So, Jonathan, I hope you join us in this election and you vote for me so that we could send strong message. And I'm happy to work with you and to listen to your concerns so that we will also hear the issues you have with regards to vaccines as well. And I'm happy to listen to them. We could book and write to me, fhassan-co@ndb.on.ca. And thank you for joining me as well, Jonathan. And you can join me every Friday. And I always take your questions, whether they are tough questions, if they are tough comments, I will be able to share. And also no censorship, no editing. You see, I have never done that. And because I'm your representative, we're going to be accessible to you. And that's exactly what representation should be. And that's why we need to be vigilant. People who are coming from Etobicoke North and also Hamba, Bakta High Park, and try and want to represent our community. I'm the only representative in this community for many, many years who've lived over 20 years in this community. And we have seen we have become an afterthought in this community. And we need a voice. We need a strong leader standing up for this community. And I have done that, fighting for vaccines to come to the community. When this government was delaying about them, it took us 7 months to actually get vaccines at 20 Church Street. testing centers to get it there. 7 months, that's unacceptable. It took them the rolling of vaccines to come for a while. We could not wait for them. I partnered my team, myself, with the public health, community public health, Unison and Black Creek community health community centers, and also Humber River Hospital and other groups such as the Women's Health Center, and they came to our community and we delivered vaccines to seniors' homes, buildings, and communities. And many of you have contacted our office, and we have been with you supporting to make sure this community gets the vaccines that you wanted. And that was a key a fight we fought. We have become an afterthought, and we have been termed then, high risk community and hotspots. And we have done that, and I thank many of you who have also contributed and supported many members of our community. Also, folks, I know that many of you also, somebody is requesting me to join live on Instagram. I can't take it. If you want to join me live early, I can take you, but you have to make arrangements with me and know ahead of time what you are talking about and what you want to talk about. I don't mind having you a guest to come, but I want you to know ahead so you don't just request as I come live. Okay, so I won't take you KZ way 7th. I won't be able to do it because we haven't made that arrangement early on. Okay, but I'll be happy to take your questions or any comments you might have. Okay, and that was also the fight we fought, and that's why we need a strong local voice, somebody who lives in the community like me over 20 years, not somebody who will claim whatever they want, coming from Parkdale High Park or coming from Etobicoke North. No, we need local York Southwestern, and I'm that person. I have been that person before that. I have been working for the community, serving the community over 13 years before that as well, working right here in York Southwestern, addressing your concerns in other capacity. But as you remember, provincial parliament since June 7, 2018, we have been raising and fighting and advocating, and also we've got some achievements and successes for our community. But we need more, because this neglect have continued the last 15 years from bad to worse. And this government, for Conservatives, it is unacceptable. What they say is, and what they do is two different things. When you hear what the Premier, when he's talking about saying that our frontline workers, essential workers, whom are their home is in York Southwestern, we have the largest BSWs, nurses, frontline workers, people who are essential workers, who are moving this province forward. And what does the Ford Conservatives do? They bring bills like 124. It's a shame, and that's what we are up against, folks, in this upcoming election. And we need to send strong message. So get involved. Whatever you can to do, get involved. Make sure that we send strong message on June 2nd. And also, folks, many issues. Housing is also another issues of affordability issues that people are struggling. They are struggling, and because this neglect has been made the last 30 years. And we know, case in point, we have to tell those who have been responsible on this. And they were. The Ford Conservatives were part of it now. They had a chance for 4 years to do it right. They have not done so. And this is another problem. Now they had also their own housing task group that they put together, and they have given them recommendations. And their recommendations, they have not adopted one single of those recommendations. Then why waste these people's time and energy and efforts to work together and then deliver a report and not consider it at all? And that, to me, is not a leadership. And we need to talk about housing, folks. And I talk about it because in 1993, you remember that red book in John Crochet and Martin, all this problem of housing is started there, And that's why I talk about it, because that's exactly what happened. They downloaded their housing responsibilities to provincial jurisdictions here in Ontario. Uh, and then the Premier, Mike Harris, was the Premier. And what did he do? He downloaded to municipalities like the City of Toronto. I know the Mayor John Terry and city councillors are doing their best. And people before them, they're doing their best. The waiting list alone is over 100,000 for this city. And people are worried, especially seniors are worried. What happens to them? When they lose a job, when something happens to them, how are they going to take care of themselves? That is the challenge. And then in 2003, we had that election that Dalton McGuinty was elected 2003, and that election, and then after that Kathleen Wynne, they continue to download housing responsibility to municipalities. And this last year alone, folks, the government headed by Rob Ford spent only $6 million in housing in the province. Think about that. And the City of Toronto alone spent $800 million. And this is a crisis where we need to fix it. And together we can fix. And NDP government have put together a plan. Our plan is practical, it's doable, and it also gives options. If you haven't read it, please read it. I have sent you, many of you, the plan about a year and a half ago. My leader have announced a long time, so you can read it, understand it, and if you have any comments, you share with me. And these options also give us ownership portion of it, where we provide, if you make lower than 200,000, equity loans, the 10% down payment, in order for you to own a place of your own, because that dream is gone for young people. And many people who are reaching close to 40s and 50s, they cannot own a property because of the crises that have been created in the 90s and continue to trickle down into municipalities because this was lack of leadership. Now I hear that the Justin Trudeau government is now appointed a minister for housing, and we're looking forward. We have written many times this my counterpart, federal MP, to meet with him, to talk to him about how we can work together to make things better for the people of York Southwestern and make life more affordable. We're still waiting a response from him to meet and to discuss many issues, about this. But we welcome their involvement. And now the good news, also they're building more co-ops, federal co-ops. That is an excellent, and it's a fantastic, because co-ops do work, because we've seen many co-ops that exist across the province. They are excellent model, and it also provides affordable rent and affordable also support for those who need that support. And it's an excellent way of making sure. But also, those co-ops that have existed over 30 years now, they're also having challenges about their mortgages. What happens to them? And now there should be an opportunity to support them as well, so that they continue that service and also support for their communities. Now, we need also an NDP government to make sure we do it right, and we fix this together. And that's why it's so important this coming election, we come together and make sure together we can fix these crises that has been created by the previous governments and current government. We know that the Liberals had 15 years. They had plenty of opportunity to tackle the crisis they have created, from federally and provincially. And we know that also the Conservatives also have been part of that, because Mike Harris and Erin Eves have begun, and Doug Ford have continued to this. And this is also an issue that is very important in our community. We have seen many members of our community being threatened by re-evictions because a landlord buys it, and now all of a sudden they want to kick people who have lived over 20 years or more in these residential tenants. And this is sad. We need to make sure that we deal with the issue of evictions. And that's also a commitment to make sure we have to make sure that tenants are not evicted and they are continued their tenancy. With regard to the above guideline rent increases, that's also another problem that hits hard the tenants in our community and across the province. And that is why the landlord has a responsibility. The landlord has a responsibility to make sure that they do the repairs and maintenance issues. And instead, the previous government and the current government are saying, oh, you can pass it to the tenants, by simply submitting above guideline rent increases because you have done A, B, C, D. Then, if this continues, folks, no one is able to afford a place to live in this province, especially in Toronto. Then what are we going to do? We are just creating overcrowding conditions and also creating a chaos in housing. We need to ban above guideline rent increases. And we have put bills on this and motions. And also my colleague from Toronto St. Paul's, Jill Andrew, have put a motion, and I was happy and delighted to debate on that and stand up, rise at the legislature to take the part of the debate on that. What did the Ford Conservatives do? They voted down. And many of you folks who are renters in this community, you are 50% of the residents here are renters. And this is also an important part that you need to send strong message this coming election, not only in York South-Weston, but across the province. Together, we can fix housing crisis. And we can do it by having an NDP government that delivers it. And a premier that really cares, is compassionate, and also delivers results, unlike the current premier, who says one thing to frontline workers, frontline heroes, and champions, and does another thing, like we have seen Bill 124. We need to rebuild that bill because it's a wrong bill. It disrespects our nurses, our frontline workers who have moved this province forward during the pandemic. And houses also, another thing is also missing, folks, is rent control. A rent control is very important. And many of these buildings, Ford government, what did he do? He lifts for rent control. Any new building now, they can charge whatever they want. And there are many, many developments coming, not only in our community, but across the city. And they can charge whatever they want. And that is why we need a rent control to make sure it's reasonable, making sure that it's affordable, and making sure that it's the right thing to do, that we protect our tenants to make sure they're not worried about the coming years about the rent, so that they are not going to do the annual increase, whatever that is. This year is 1.2% plus above guideline rent increases. Sometimes they go up 9%, 13%. The number keep going each year. And many of these landlords have evicted many people because they could not continue to live in the community in which they were born, and a community in which they have been raised, and the communities in which they have deep roots. And this is, folks, a crisis. We have the plan, and our plan is Ontario NDP Housing Plan. It's practical, it's doable, and also we're going to go after the speculators, and also flippers who have also created a chaos in this market. And we need to get to go after them, and by taxing them, and also making sure those places that are just empty, we should be making sure that people have access to those places. And also, we need to make sure also that we have options people to buy their own property. And that's why we are giving young people and people of first home buyers to actually get the 10 down payment equity loans. You can borrow 10% down payment, And that 10% down payment, then you don't have to pay right away. You can pay it later on when you sell your home. And that will give you the flexibility to own as long as you can pay your mortgage. That actually helps a lot of families because it takes years and years to actually save a down payment of 50,000, 70,000, 80,000, 100,000 and more. And this is why I think our plan is the best plan, because it's doable, it's practical, and also it has many options to deal with the crisis. And together we can fix the housing crisis, which has been created by the federal liberals and the provincial conservatives and the liberals and then conservatives now. And we can do this by working together, okay, to solve this. And folks, those who are just joining me, you're joining your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan. You join me every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And tonight I'm joining you 4 p.m. from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. And if this is also a best time for you, then we might be able to do it, because also it's a Ramadan and many of you might be busy eating and also praying during the evenings from 7 to 8 p.m. And perhaps this might be the best time. We will update you on that. If that's the case, then we will switch from 4 to 5. If not, still we will continue to join you from 7 to 8 p.m. Or maybe we can shorten it half an hour rather than an hour until the end of April, before we go to an election, a full force. And because June 2nd is also the general election, provincial general election is happening, and that will be June 2nd. And those who joining me now, you're joining your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan. Neighbors, friends, brothers and sisters, welcome. You are joining me on Instagram, Faisal Hassan NDP, and Twitter, Faisal Hassan NDP, Facebook page, Faisal Hassan NDP, LinkedIn, and YouTube as well. Welcome, folks. And I'll try, if you have any comments or questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And also, you don't have to wait next Friday to ask me a question or to share your input or your suggestions or ideas. You can always write to me. And my email is fhassan-co@ndp.on.ca. You can also phone me 416-243-7984. And this is your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan. And so many issues we have been fighting since you've elected me. Another case is also the childcare. And childcare, we have been community members have been paying like a mortgage, average. Some people paying 500, 700, 1,000. Above that, 3,000 or more just for childcare. And it has been very difficult for families to continue this. So I think this deal, which took this government, for Conservatives, to sign 9 months. It's a shame that all the territories, all the provinces have signed this deal with the federal government. But now, finally, they have signed the deal, which is good. We have been saying sign it early on. So, but we need now to make sure the details is also make sure that people can afford $10 per day childcare in our province, so that people can afford childcare in our community and in our province. And this has been something that we have been fighting for so long. Remember 1993, the Red Book, which was promising it, and they have never delivered it. But now it's a good news. And we're happy to work with them. And as we form government June 2nd, we would like to also to work with any federal government that is putting the people of Ontario first. And also working with us, the important issues in our community right here in York Southwestern and across Ontario. Quickly, I'll take a couple of comments, and I'll turn into the Instagram. Nadia Musub says, hello from Kenya, Brother Hassan. Happy Ramadan Mubarak. Well, happy Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you for joining me that far, thousands miles away. Happy Ramadan Mubarak. It must be late for you there, but for us here, it's 55 past 4 in the afternoon, and I only have 5 more minutes to hear your comments and concerns until I join you next Friday. We will now keep it from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And if there's changes, I will let you know. Okay? Very good. So you are joining me on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please subscribe it so you get an update, an instant update from YouTube, and also LinkedIn, and you can follow up my handle, Faisal Hassan NDP, and also that's my Twitter, Facebook, and also Instagram, Faisal Hassan NDP. Very good. So, so also, our healthcare workers have done so much good. They have put their lives ahead, sometimes making risk for their families and their loved ones to do the work that is needed. And they are champions. They are heroes. But the way this government is treating them is unacceptable. With their Bill 124, that is unacceptable. We are going to rebuild Bill 124 as we form government June 2nd. And it's very important, folks. Don't listen to the polls, things like that. Make sure you come out and you vote it early to make sure you bank your vote. And that's the important thing. Don't listen to anybody telling you how to vote. It's you who's going to decide how to vote in this election. Okay? And we need so many issues to fight for in this community. Affordability, education. We need small class sizes. We need also to make sure that we deal with the issues of repairs and old schools, invest hiring more teachers, more also education workers. And there are crises because so many cuts that the conservative government under the Mike Harris, Ernie Eves, and also Dalton McGuinty and Cotton Wynne, and now the conservatives are doing is also eroding our education. They want to privatize our education. They want to privatize our healthcare. We cannot let them do that. And that's why it's crucial this coming election that we send them a strong message on June 2nd to have and elect an NDP government. And it also takes place riding by riding. Make sure you get involved in your riding to make sure that you deliver a vote for an NDP government. And also you can do that, guys, in the Tropical North too. Many of you are following me there. You can do that. There will be an NDP candidate there as well. So vote there, folks, as well. And that's very important that you send a strong message there to that Premier Ford. I know it's the end of my time. I only have 1 minute. Thank you for joining me. And it was a pleasure again to join you a little bit early today at 4 p.m. from 4 to 5 to hear your concerns and also to hear the concerns of many of you as I join you every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And those of you who are fasting, happy Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you. And also enjoy. Rakshandel says, have a great weekend. Thank you, Rakshandel. Hopefully you'll be joining us when the election heats up, I suppose. We need every single person's support, contribution, anything you can do, donations, signing up for volunteer, and also voting. These are critical and important elections. We are fighting not only York Southwestern, but across the province. So join us, folks. And Rakshandel says, I appreciate all of the work you do for us. Well, thank you. And thank you to each and every one of you who have joined this afternoon from 4 to 5. That's it, folks. Neighbors, friends, brothers, and sisters. That's it for me. Please take care of each other, wash your hands, help one another. And until then, I'll be joining you again next Friday. Till then, bye.